And we're here right now with Craig Zinkievich from Cryptic Studios. And they were nice enough to bring us down here, and so we thought we'd pick his brain with some Star Trek Online questions. And we're going to go with some of the common questions from our forum over at JupiterColony.com. And I have to say, one of the #1 questions we have is the question and the issue of persistent PvP. Now, Jeremy, what do they mean when they say persistent PvP?
Well, basically, we're trying to figure out if there is a point to PvP. I mean, obviously,
other than XP,
you can get advancement through it and new upgrades to your skills and equipment and all that kind of thing. But I feel weird being taped.
You know, you do this all the time.
I know.
I'm gonna have to get my camera now.
Yeah. So the question, I guess, is players, probably specifically more with the Klingon side, but can they acquire gear? Can they acquire something? Is there any plans for that kind of angle with PvP?
And more specifically, I think a lot of people want to try to obtain things like star bases and territory.
Sure. Player-owned property, making the world change as PvP advances.
Right.
We definitely have things in the works for that, making sure that there is an overall territory game to PvP, but it will not be there at launch. The launch game is the arenas, the take and hold maps, everything that is in the game right now, save a couple of other things that we're looking at squeezing in, but don't expect any large positional or overall PvP stuff.
But it is
like
something that you would look into developing.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Are already kicking around?
Yeah, we've already been kind of playing around with stuff internally. We don't want to release anything until it's ready, until it's good, until it fits the game, and so we got some things going on internally, but it's not going to be there at launch.
Okay,
great. I think that's a pretty thorough question to that answer.
The other question would be with PvP is right now there's a pretty big advantage to playing PvP as far as experience and the equipment you get.
Sure.
Is that designed to encourage players to play PvP, or is that something that's likely to rebalance down the road?
We are constantly balancing those things. We don't expect or desire to make it so that PvP is the best way to level up or to rank up within the game for Federation players. So we're constantly balancing, constantly looking at that, and making sure that it matches up well.
Gotcha.
Now, on the exact opposite side of that question, how are the plans coming along for? It's been announced that we're looking into more PvE action for Klingon sides. Again,
we've talked about it. There are things. I mean, there are obvious, big, huge things that we can add to the game over on the Klingon side, and definitely after launch possibilities. Definitely working on stuff.
One of the big questions that I've had, and a lot of other users on our forum have had, is there anything that you can tell us about? When Stahl was on our program, he let it slip that you guys are already planning your big first content push, 45 days. Are there any major features that you can already hint that are planned to be a part of that content?
No, there's nothing that I can hint that will plan on being in that content. There's a lot of stuff that we're doing. Already have art team working on the stuff that we're going to release during for that first 45-day update, and there are things probably that internally are on the fence right now in terms of whether or not they're going to be enabled at launch or not, that will end up going into the 45 update. So no, it does not a clear-cut announcement of what's in that right now.
And speaking of things that are already in the client, is the current size of the client going to be very comparable to what we'll see on the final retail version? I know it's getting, my beta folder is getting kind of bulky.
Yes, the size of the client right now will be very close to what the final launch day client will be. The majority of all of the assets in the game, all the really, really big things, your textures, your audio files, the maps, the processed things are already in the game and locked down. What we are still doing are adding lightweight things, tuning, balancing, opening up stuff that we made sure that we got on the on the disc on that last big huge patch.
So like my personal beta folder is, I believe, over 10 gigs.
Yep.
Is that going to be ship then on multiple DVDs?
No, the DVD, it fits onto one DVD. Where is it? Oh, he's got it. It fits onto one DVD.
Look
I'm
at
going
that.
to move it so you can't prove that you looked at it. It all fits on one DVD. It's the DVDs have weird sizes to them. It's the 8 gigabyte size DVD.
So is that just
with compression and whatnot?
Yeah, with compression, it comes in like at 7.9. It is. We just got up right up to the line and then was like, okay, stop. Okay, back up a little. There, that's perfect. So.
Now, one popular question, and I think people expect to get attached to their ships. I think one thing people are asking us a lot is, what is the possibility of being able to take a ship that you get early on in the game and just continue to add improved equipment and continue to upgrade it and stick with that
like
ship?
even all the way down to some people are actually really fond of the Miranda.
Those people are crazy.
Yes, they are.
But yes.
For the record.
Yeah. Do you expect, as you're envisioning the player go through the game, that they'll always go with the latest and greatest ship? Or is there some allowance for sticking with maybe a beloved class that people really like?
There is overlap. There is the Miranda is not entirely ineffectual up at the end game, but really you are going to want to upgrade ships. We've looked at ways that we can kind of increase the lifetime of those ships. Looked at ways that maybe down the line we can end up retrofitting those ships so that they look like the Miranda, but then have different different capabilities, more like the higher tier ships. But at launch, you are going to want to upgrade your ship as time goes on.
Is there any chance you could math me real quick on it? I know that it becomes possible when you upgrade and you become a commander or a captain or an admiral, you can get better gear, and those lower tier ships are capable of equipping that gear once your captain is high enough level.
Right.
Do you have any sort of internal estimate on what the difference would be between a tier, like a Miranda and a tier 5, if they both had the top tier gear?
Oh, I don't have a number right now. The problem is that it gets really, really difficult, really complicated, because you end up having different bridge officer slots.
Right.
And that's an effectivity number that is very, very difficult to just easily say what the difference is there. Although I'm sure that Al, our lead designer, has pure numbers on that
Al
too.
The math master?
Yeah, Al is the math guy. But even the power levels, the number of forward and aft weapon slots. So you can upgrade your Miranda with the highest level gear, but you still are missing a good portion, a good percentage of what's there.
Yeah.
Sure. You'd have to be kind of a crazy person.
The thing that I like about it, though, is that we don't disallow it.
Right.
And one of the reasons why we're not disallowing it is that one of the cool things about releasing an MMO is seeing what people do with it, seeing what people find, seeing how they do all the abnormal things that you would never imagine them to do, and but still be really effective about it. And so that's what I'm looking forward to it. We know that in PvE, it's going to be hard to use the Miranda at those high levels, but the emergent gameplay, so let them do it. Let's see what they do with it, and